This video is on tables in Microsoft Word. Whenever I'm in Word, I use tables all the time. And you can see right now, this is on our goals project. You can see I used a table here. This right here is a table. And then I have a table here and here. Those are the tables you can see. But if I were really to highlight the entire document and tell it I want to see everything, now everything in red is now I've highlighted all the lines on the table. You can see how many tables I really do use. This is a table. This is a table. Everything in red, those are tables. And the reason why I use all these tables is to make sure my formatting goes exactly where I want it. So tables are really important in Microsoft Word. And so that's what this video is about today, how to create a table. So on the calendar project, you can see one of the requirements was to create a table and to have 4 columns. So let's talk about how to do that. We're going to start a new, well, let's just get rid of that. In order for me to get rid of that document, I did a Control-A, which is the Control-All, highlighted everything, and then I just hit Delete. And so now we're going to start from scratch. I'm going to go to Insert, Table, and now when I highlight, it will tell me how many rows and how many columns. So let's start with our table looking like this. It's 4 columns and 3 rows. So there's my table. The direction said we needed goals, duration. What was my other thing? Type and plan. When I went back to that last document, the real quick switch, it's just doing an Alt Tab. If you go to Alt Tab, you can go through everything that's open. Okay, so once I created this in my goals project, I then went up here to design. Now design tab and the layout tab only appear when you're clicking in your table. And then you can do a drop down and it will format your table for you if you'd like it to. I use this particular layout, so I'm going to go ahead and just choose it again. So it formats everything for me, which is really nice. Now if I'd like to add another column, I can go over here, I can right click and tell it to insert, and I can insert a column to the right. If I want to delete, same thing, right click and then tell it to delete, and I'm going to delete the column. If I want to add a row, I just click in the last cell and I hit tab, and I can just keep entering rows. Let's see, another thing that I use is the text direction. So if I have a lot of columns and the headers are just too big, you can highlight the headers and I can change the direction. If I just keep clicking, it will align them until I finally choose which one I want. And then the last thing that I use quite often is I use borders. Because, you know, when I showed you that last document when I had all those tables that you couldn't see, I do that by just changing everything to no fill, and then I hide my borders. So let's try it. Let's go to home, and I don't want anything, so I don't want any color. Well, it got rid of everything for me. You can see the table right there. And that's really what I do. But let's go ahead and put borders. I just did a Control-A again so I can highlight my entire table. I'm going to do this drop down here for borders, and then now I can see what I really want to do. Right now my borders are red, just so you could see them. If I wanted to change that, I could highlight, do that drop down again. I'm in home and I'm in borders, and I can do borders and shading. And now it's saying, okay, what do you want it to look like? I can change it to black. I can change it to thinner line. I can even do dots. And that's how I switch it back. So then I will align everything I want, and then I just hide my lines. Actually, one other thing that I do is I do a lot of merging. So I'm going to highlight this, and I'm going to right click, and I'm going to tell it to merge cells. You can't see it. It hid my border. Let's put that back. I put it back, but now I just got rid of my columns and now there's just one merged cell, and that's really what you saw in that first document. I just merged things just so I can line it just right. So there's so much you can do with tables. It just really comes down to having a need or a desire, and once you have that, then you just kind of play around under design, under layout. Again, seeing your borders, that would be important. And if there's ever something that you want to do and you don't know how to do, I always say right click first and go out to properties and see what options you have. So if you have any questions, please email me at learn@vegetarianhomeschooler.com.